Speak Easy Studios. Speak and be heard.
What effect does stress have on your life? How does it affect your relationships? What about your business? My name is Lynn of ItzWhy, and my clients call me the identity coach because they discover how to take back control of who they want to be and how they react to stress. This message needed to get out to a larger group of people, so I created a group that helps people identify and manage the stress they never realized they had. We're going to explore questions that challenge you to find your inner power that got buried so deep within because of that stress, and take back control of the situations that cause that stress in your daily life. A small change can make the biggest difference. You make the difference. Welcome back to IPP Thursday. Thank you so much for coming back to listen and join in with me today. I'm going to talk about the one thing that many of us don't typically do: taking a break. So over the course of an average day, what does a break look like to you? Many of you might be saying, a break? Who has time for a break? I've got such a full day. I don't even stop for lunch. So think about, what does an ideal break? If you could, if you would, if you did take a break, what might that look like? Where would you want to be when you take that break? Do you want to be sitting at your work desk with your lunch and your paperwork and maybe even a computer in front of you? Does that seem like a break? Or would you prefer to step outside and maybe take a walk? What does that look like? To everybody, it's going to be different. How do you take a break? Well, you have to choose to do it, because no one is going to give it to you, right? So how can you make a choice to take a break, maybe a small one, no matter when that is in the course of your day? You get to decide where that's going to fit in, where that's going to make you feel like you've taken a break. You've probably already been thinking, it's so hard to take a break. I really don't have time. I've got too many things in the day. Things won't get done. But I'm curious, why do you think taking a break is important? What do you think taking a break might actually do for you? I wonder. So I used to manage 2 locations of a business, and I used to be that person who sat at the desk with the computer, with the paperwork, with my lunch. The person that didn't take a break. The person that worked a 12-hour day or a 10-hour day. And by the time I went home, I felt like I had just walked in and it was all a blur. Well, that gets to a point where you might ultimately end up feeling burnt out, as I did. So I realized I needed to take some sort of break. So I still ate my lunch, did my work, answered the phone, or whatever needed to be done. I had to race back and forth between the 2 locations. But I started walking out and taking a walk. I'd set a timer on my phone for 15 minutes. And when the 15 minutes was up, I went back in. But here's the amazing thing that happened. When I got back in and I sat back down at the desk and got ready to work, I actually felt rejuvenated. I actually felt like I was starting again rather than having that never-ending feeling like I'm in this loop that I can't get out of. So whatever a break looks like to you, whatever you think could be a break that looks good for you, notice how you feel when you don't take one, and then notice how you feel when you do. Think about what you'd like to feel, because that's the most important component of this. The only one that can give you a break is you. And a break is so important. It's better for your mind. It's also better for your body. And you get that little rejuvenation. If you think you can't take 15 minutes, start with 5. Maybe take 5 minutes here and 5 minutes a few hours later. But take that break because you deserve it. So let me ask you a question. When you leave the house and you put your wallet either in your purse or in your pocket, you kind of have a certain amount of money that's in there. Whether you're using a credit card or whether you're using cash, doesn't really matter. You have a certain budget and you know what you're going to spend and what you're not, right? Well, what if you had a break budget and treated it the same way that you treat your financial budget? This is the amount of time in the day that I have. This is the amount of time that I have to devote to work. But this is the amount of time that I need to take a break. And schedule that in and know that you have to spend that break time just the same as you have to limit the amount of money that you spend on certain things. It's just a necessary amount of something, right? So what does a break budget look like to you? How much time do you need to be able to feel refreshed? That's different for everybody. For some people, it could be 5 minutes, and for some people, it needs to be 30. Some people, it might need to be 20. Figure out what your break budget is and incorporate that into at least one day a week. Maybe it'll be the same day every week. Maybe you can create that habit of that break budget over the course of an entire week. And by the time you get to your weekend, you might have a lot more energy for the things that you'd like to do when you're not working. How does that sound? So lastly, let's just look at creating a break budget or a break routine one step at a time. Maybe it's just 5 minutes in the middle of your day. But try to get that set and see how that makes a difference in your productivity. Taking that break and being refreshed might actually lead to you getting all those other things on your list in your workday done a whole lot sooner. There might even be some time at the end of the day for you to take another break. You don't know unless you try. So implement that today and see how that affects your success. It's up to you. Thank you for listening to this week's edition of IPP Thursday, and we look forward to having you return back next week. Thanks for listening. See you soon. It's hard because